Alright everyone, and welcome back to another of CR Gaming's little Introduction to series of Minecraft videos, where we introduce you to very basic topics about Minecraft. This week, it's all about block basics. So if you've started up Minecraft, or you've seen Minecraft, of course you know it's all about blocks, and building with blocks, and doing things with blocks, and there's a lot of blocks. And I mean a lot. So we won't be going over all of them, because there's far too many to cover in one video, but we'll cover the basics of all the block types, well not all the block types, but some of the basic block types and what they do, and then we'll also get into a bit of how to get around Minecraft, because there are various forms of transportation. So first things first, we've got a wall here, the same wall from last video demonstrating pickaxes. With some very basic blocks. As you can see, they're all square. And this one just got some grass growing on top of it. It was a dirt block. Now it's got grass on there. But anyway, these are all 1 block high, as they call it. So it's as high as a person can jump in Minecraft. It's also 1 meter. Each of these are 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. And these are often what you'll see people building a majority of their houses out of, are something that looks like one of these. I mean, maybe it's a different type of wood or a different type of stone, or, you know, maybe even something like purpur, which is a funky block. Maybe it even has some wool. Who knows? But the idea is basically these are all blocks. They can be used for building. Some of them are decorative, like the grass block. I probably wouldn't build a house out of it. Some of them are a little more rare, like the lapis lazuli block. And then, of course, there's always the first thing people do in creative mode. Okay, maybe not the first thing, but one of the things everyone always does in creative mode, which is the diamond block house. That's not my favorite, but, you know, people like to flaunt their wealth, I guess, when they can just create it out of nothing. Anyway, there are a lot more different types of blocks, though, and they allow you to do a lot of different types of things. For example, stairs. So you've got a little ledge here, and I have to jump up. I have to hit the space bar and jump up. Or, if I use the stairs, I can simply walk up and walk down, and there's no jumping involved on any of these stairs. It's very simple, lickety-split. Same thing with half slabs. They allow you to do that, and they give a little more decoration capabilities, both the stairs and the half slabs. Obviously, the half slab is a less steep of a climb than the stairs, but the function is essentially the same. And lastly, in terms of going vertical, there's a ladder, and you can just go up or down. In order to go down, you just let yourself fall. You just hands off the key, and that's it. To go up, you just have to push yourself into the ladder. You can do it from any direction. If I go backwards into it here, it pushes me up. You don't want to jump off and fall too much, though. It does get a bit dangerous. So that was some of the very basic block types and kind of how to use them a little bit. And here's some other blocks that you might want to be familiar with, and a little bit more advanced topics. So here I've got in front of us 2 little pressure plates, is what they're called. These are the stone variety, a lever, a button, a trapdoor, and a spruce door, a wooden door. Now the trapdoor I can open with my hand, just like this, open and close, and same with the door. Or, if I want to get fancy, I can make a pressure plate and have it open by standing on the pressure plate. And when I jump off, it closes. Same thing with this door. Opens and closes. Maybe I have a lot of things I have to get in and out, and I don't want to always wait for it to open, because sometimes it takes a second. I can just use a lever and open it, in this case both of them, at the same time, and leave them open. And then when I'm ready, just close it again. Or if I want it to be on a timer, but I don't want just anybody to be able to walk over it, you can make a button, and then it's on a timer. See, that's how to make some doorways or other things for your house, make some kind of cool entrances that you don't have to click on every time to open. and close. With the trapdoor, you can also make some actual traps, as the name implies. You know, somebody walks over a pressure plate and woo, they fall down, and now they're stuck. Actually, legitimately stuck here. Anyway, uh, luckily I'm in creative mode. So that was some of the very basic block types. A little more advanced block types, still very basic, and some of their functionality and how to use them. Now let's talk about how to get around. So you've built some buildings, you've discovered some cool islands that are far away or a cave that's far away, and now you want a better way of getting to it than simply slowing forever through the grass. So the first option you can do is a road. Now, when I talk about a road, a lot of people, their first Minecraft road looks something like this. It's a bunch of cobble. If it's functional, it allows you to not have to jump up and down, but it's not my favorite. And let's face it, it looks kind of plain. So I recommend upgrading it just a little bit with some stair blocks and some half slabs here. And then it creates this kind of recessed fill that gives it just a little bit more of an artsy look. If you're feeling a little adventurous or a little more adventurous, you can add a little design, basically doing the same thing here. I've just changed out these stair blocks and just add a little design in there. And it creates, in my opinion, a much more interesting road without sacrificing, ability to make it and ease of materials or flexibility. You don't have to do this pattern. It was just something I threw in there. You don't have to do a pattern at all. It's, whatever you want. But roads are a very good way to help you get around from place to place because, like I said, you don't have to jump. You don't have to worry about, running into an obstacle that you can't get around because you've already made a road. Even this hill here, see, I just walk right down it, even though normally to walk up it, I would have to jump a lot, but in this case, I just walk up or run. You can do something like this, and you can even keep a little pattern, depending on how you do it. I'm not a fan of how I've laid it out here necessarily, but it does follow the landscape a bit better, and you can still run up and down it just fine. Another method of transportation is a horse, which I have recently acquired in my most recent Let's Play. The horse is really good because you don't have to be somewhere where you have a road or other infrastructure. They can be really fast, and if you're worried about them, there you go, the horses open up the trapdoor, demonstrating my point of, maybe something a little more secure like a lever. Anyway, they can go anywhere, almost anywhere, I should say. They can't go in deep pits or in water very well. You don't have to have a road. You don't have to have other infrastructure. And once you have a horse, hopefully you can keep a horse. If you need to tie it down, you can just take a lead and tie it to a fence post. So if we remove that, I'll show you a horse here. You can see it's a little bit faster. This one's not much faster than me running. It's not the best horse. But some of them are really quite quick. And it can just run right up this hill and right down. Not a problem. Even that little pit. So horses are a great option, especially if you don't have a set path of where you're going, or if you just like horses. And last but not least is the minecart. Now, minecarts used to be the most popular form of transportation, mostly because there weren't horses for a very long time. They're still quite good, but the disadvantage is they are the most expensive, I would say, piece of infrastructure you can make. They require rails, they require powered rails, they require some form of mechanism to power the powered rails, and they require this all the way down wherever you're going. Minecarts can only go up and down one block at a time, they can't jump, but the advantage is, once you're in a minecart, you can step away from your keyboard, you can have a glass of water, you can have some milk, whatever. You can even have dinner if your place is far enough away that you're going to. And the minecart will still get you to your destination. No input needed on your part. So they are a really good option if that's something you need and you're traveling long distances, but they are the most expensive by far. The other thing you can do with minecarts, of course, is the minecart roller coaster or the Minecraft roller coaster. You don't get quite the same feel when you're on a horse or running down a road as you do when you're in a minecart, just unable to control how fast you're going or where you're going. And we were talking about transportation. So, in that sense, it's the most expensive, least flexible option, but it's great if you know exactly where you're going. You want to get there fairly quickly, and you don't want to have to press any buttons to get there besides start. Well, that's it for this very basic tutorial. Like I said, just a very basic introduction to what some of the blocks do and different block types. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new, and if you didn't, maybe it's time for the 202 level course